Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by KringlesChristmas.com, home of Comet's Choice Premium Reindeer Food. Reindeer tested, Santa approved. Tonight, we continue our journey through the Enchanted Toyshop, a Christmas Eve adventure, with Chapter 4 titled The Magic Key. So, get comfy, grab a mug of hot cocoa, and let's dive right into this magical chapter. Clara's painted eyes sparkled as the golden bells chime faded into the soft hum of the bustling toy shop. The toys had gathered in a loose circle around Molly, who cradled the snow globe with the golden bell inside, like it was the most precious treasure in the world. Its delicate sound still seemed to linger in the air, leaving a sense of calm wonder in its wake. But the peace didn't last long. Jack Ever, the energetic leader, bounded to the center of the group, his button eyes gleaming with excitement. 2 pieces down, 1 to go, he declared, puffing out his chest. The crystal star and the golden bell are safe, but we need the magic key to summon the great star, and we don't have much time. Clara glanced at the clock hanging on the wall behind the counter. Its hands inched closer to midnight, the soft ticking sound, barely audible, above the excited chatter of the toys. "What does the magic key look like?" she asked, her wooden voice tinged with determination. "It's shaped like a starburst," Jack explained, hopping up onto the edge of a shelf so everyone could see him better. "It's gold, and the legend says it shines so brightly that it can light up even the darkest corners." "Where could it be hiding?" Molly asked, her floppy ears twitching as she spoke. "That's the tricky part," Jack admitted, his ears flattening slightly. "The key has been hidden in a different spot every year, and sometimes it likes to be. Well, stubborn. Magic objects can be like that." Clara's wooden fingers tightened around the folds of her velvet skirt. "Then we'll just have to search everywhere," she said firmly. Ace buzzed into the air beside her, his propellers whirring with energy. "Good plan. Let's split up and cover as much ground as we can." The toys cheered in agreement, their voices ringing out like tiny bells. With a renewed sense of purpose, they scattered to every corner of the shop, determined to uncover the hiding place of the elusive magic key. Clara paired up with Ace again, their partnership growing more natural with each passing moment. They decided to search the corners of the shop that hadn't been explored yet, places where the light barely reached and shadows curled like quiet secrets. "Do you really think the key will shine like Jack said?" Clara asked as they approached the farthest corner of the shop. Ace nodded, his propellers spinning steadily. "Magic things always leave a hint of themselves behind even when they're hiding. You just have to know how to look for it." The corner they had chosen was filled with stacks of wooden crates and neatly folded blankets meant for dollhouses. Clara climbed carefully onto the lowest crate, her wooden hands gripping the edges for balance. "Do you see anything?" she asked, peering into the shadowy space between 2 boxes. "Not yet," Ace replied, buzzing lower to inspect the space beneath the crates. "But don't worry, keys love hiding in places like this." Clara leaned farther forward, her fingers brushing against something cool and metallic. For a moment, her wooden heart skipped. Could it be the key? But when she pulled it into the light, she realized it was just a small tin whistle shaped like a candy cane. She sighed, placing it gently back in its spot. "Nothing here," she said, climbing down from the crate. "Don't get discouraged," Ace said with a cheerful hum. "The best treasures are always the hardest to find." Across the shop, the other toys were searching just as diligently. The tin soldiers had formed a line and were using their synchronized movements to push aside heavy books and lift boxes that were too large for smaller toys to move. "Nothing yet," their captain reported, his metallic voice tinged with frustration. "But the key has to be here somewhere." Meanwhile, Molly and Edgar the elephant were searching near the Christmas tree. The ornaments jingled softly as Molly reached for one shaped like a golden star. "Maybe this is it," she asked, holding it up for Edgar to inspect. The patchwork elephant shook his head, his mismatched ears flopping as he did so. "Too light," he said, his voice deep and thoughtful. "The real key would feel heavier, more important." Molly sighed, placing the ornament back on its branch. "It's so hard to tell what's magical and what's just shiny." Edgar patted her gently with his soft trunk. "We'll find it," he said. "We just have to keep looking." Clara and Ace decided to search the shelves near the music boxes, where the soft, tinkling melodies filled the air with a dreamy quality. Clara's wooden hands brushed past tiny porcelain figurines and wind-up toys as she searched, her painted eyes scanning every surface for a hint of golden light. Ace buzzed ahead, his propellers kicking up tiny motes of dust as he hovered near a particularly elaborate music box. Its lid was painted with swirling snowflakes, and inside a tiny skating penguin spun in slow circles. "This one's beautiful," Ace said, admiring the craftsmanship. Clara smiled. "It is, but I don't think it's hiding the key." As she reached for the next shelf, a faint glimmer caught her eye. It was a soft golden glow, so faint she might have missed it if she hadn't been looking closely. "Ace," she whispered, her voice rising with excitement. "Do you see that? Ace turned quickly, his eyes narrowing as he focused on the source of the light. It's coming from behind that box. Clara climbed carefully onto the edge of the shelf, her wooden hands gripping the edge as she reached for the small decorative box. The golden glow grew brighter as she moved it aside, revealing a hidden compartment carved into the wood. Nestled inside was a key unlike anything Clara had ever seen. It was golden and shaped like a starburst, its edges sharp and intricate. The glow surrounding it pulsed faintly like a heartbeat, and Clara felt a wave of warmth as she reached out to pick it up. "I found it," she whispered, her voice trembling with awe. Ace let out a triumphant buzz, his propellers spinning faster in celebration. "You did it, Clara. That's the magic key." Clara held the key tightly as she climbed back down from the shelf, her heart swelling with pride and excitement. When she reached the ground, the other toys gathered around, their faces lighting up as they saw the glowing object in her hands. "The magic key!" Jack exclaimed, his voice filled with wonder. "Clara, you found it!" Molly's ears perked up as she leaned closer to get a better look. "It's so beautiful," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "It's glowing even brighter than I imagined." Edgar rumbled, his patchwork face glowing with admiration. Clara smiled, holding the key out for everyone to see, its golden light reflected in their wide eyes, filling the shop with a warmth that seemed to chase away every shadow. "The great star will appear now, won't it?" Clara asked, turning to Jack. He nodded, his tail wagging with excitement. "Yes, we have everything we need, the crystal star, the golden bell, and the magic key. All we have to do now is place them together in the center of the shop." "Then let's do it," Clara said, her voice brimming with determination. The toys cheered, their laughter and jingles echoing through the shop as they moved toward the center of the room. The clock on the wall ticked closer to midnight, its steady rhythm filling the air with anticipation. Clara felt a flutter of nervous excitement as she carried the key toward the glowing crystal star and the snow globe containing the golden bell. The three pieces seemed to hum softly as they were placed together, their magic growing stronger with each passing moment. The toys gathered in a circle around the objects, their eyes shining with hope and wonder. Midnight was only moments away, and Clara could feel the air itself growing warmer, brighter, more alive. "The great star is coming," Jack whispered, his voice filled with awe. Clara clasped her wooden hands together, her painted heart brimming with anticipation. The night's greatest magic was about to unfold. Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by KringlesChristmas.com, home of Comet's Choice Premium Reindeer. Food reindeer, tested, Santa approved. When we left off, Clara and the toys had placed the crystal star, the golden bell, and the magic key together. The air was thick with anticipation, and midnight was just moments away. Let's see what happens next. The toys held their breath as the clock on the wall chimed 12 times, marking the arrival of midnight. The final chime seemed to reverberate through the shop, echoing with the promise of magic. Suddenly, the crystal star, the golden bell, and the magic key began to glow brighter than ever before. Their light pulsed and swirled, filling the shop with a dazzling display of colors that danced across the walls and ceiling. Clara gasped as she felt a surge of energy flow through her wooden body. The air crackled with anticipation, and the toys around her whispered excitedly, their eyes wide with wonder. Then, right before their very eyes, a shimmering portal began to open above the three magical objects. It shimmered like 1,000 snowflakes caught in the moonlight, its edges swirling with stardust and the promise of something extraordinary. The toys gasped in unison, their voices a chorus of amazement. They had never seen anything like it before. "The great star!" Jack exclaimed, pointing a trembling paw toward the swirling portal. "It's really happening!" Clara felt her wooden heart skip a beat as a brilliant beam of light erupted from the center of the portal. The light was so pure, so bright, that it seemed to illuminate the entire shop, banishing every shadow and filling the space with an otherworldly glow. As the light intensified, a shape began to emerge from the portal. Slowly, majestically, a magnificent star descended from the swirling vortex, its points gleaming with an ethereal luminescence that seemed to pulse with life. The great star was even more breathtaking than any of the toys could have ever imagined. Its surface shimmered with 1,000 shades of gold and silver, its points sharp yet delicate, and its size was so immense that it seemed to dwarf everything else in the shop. The toys gazed upon the great star with a mixture of awe and reverence. Its presence filled them with a sense of wonder and joy, erasing any lingering doubts or fears they might have had.
The great star, having descended fully from the portal, hovered gently above the three magical objects that had summoned it. Its light seemed to pulsate with a gentle rhythm, casting long, dancing shadows across the shop. Clara felt a warmth spread through her wooden body, a sensation that seemed to resonate deep within her core. It was a feeling of pure joy, of hope, of magic come to life. She looked around at the other toys and saw that they were all experiencing the same sense of wonder and delight. Their eyes sparkled, their smiles were wide, and their bodies swayed gently to an unheard melody that seemed to emanate from the great star itself. For a moment time seemed to stand still. The toys basked in the glow of the great star, their hearts filled with a sense of peace and contentment that they had never known before. But the magic of the night wasn't over yet. As the great star continued to hover above them, it began to emit a soft melodic hum. The sound was unlike anything the toys had ever heard before. It was a melody that seemed to weave together laughter, joy, and the spirit of Christmas into a symphony that resonated deep within their souls.
As the melody filled the shop, the great star began to spin slowly its points, tracing graceful arcs through the air. And as it spun, it released a shower of shimmering dust that sparkled like 1,000 tiny diamonds. The dust swirled and danced, catching the light of the great star, and painting the shop with a kaleidoscope of colors. It settled upon the toys, coating them in a layer of shimmering magic that seemed to amplify their own inner light. Clara felt the dust settle upon her wooden skin, and she couldn't help but giggle with delight. It felt warm and tingly, like 1,000 tiny kisses from the stars themselves. She looked around at the other toys and saw that they were reacting in the same way. Jack was spinning in circles, his tail wagging furiously, while Molly and Edgar danced a clumsy yet joyful waltz. Even the tin soldiers had abandoned their usual stoicism, their metallic bodies swaying to the enchanting melody. The toys were filled with an overwhelming sense of joy and wonder, a feeling so pure and powerful that it seemed to erase any worries or anxieties they might have had. They were caught up in the magic of the moment, lost in a world where anything seemed possible. Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by KringlesChristmas.com, home of Comet's Choice, premium reindeer, food, reindeer, tested Santa approved. Last time we saw the great star appear, shower the toys with shimmering dust, and fill the shop with a truly magical glow. But the chapter isn't over yet, so grab your cocoa and let's find out what happens next. But as quickly as it began, the shower of stardust subsided. The great star slowed its spin, and the melodic hum faded into a gentle whisper. The toys stood still, their breaths catching in their throats as the last of the stardust settled upon the floor. The silence that followed was profound, yet it was a silence filled with a sense of peace and contentment. The great star, still radiating its gentle light, remained hovering above them, a silent sentinel of the magic that had unfolded. Its presence filled the shop with a sense of warmth and hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of nights, the light of magic could always shine through. Clara, still feeling the warmth of the stardust on her skin, looked up at the great star with a heart filled with gratitude. She knew that this night, this moment, would forever be etched in her memory, a testament to the power of belief, the beauty of friendship, and the magic that could be found in the most unexpected of places. She took a deep breath and let out a sigh of pure contentment. The adventure, she realized, was far from over. But for now, she was content to simply bask in the glow of the great star and savor the magic that had filled the Enchanted Toyshop on this most extraordinary of Christmas Eves. As the last echoes of the great star's melody faded, a hush fell over the toy shop. Even the clock on the wall seemed to tick more softly, as if in reverence to the celestial visitor. Clara, still mesmerized by the great star, felt a gentle tap on her shoulder. It was Jack, his button eyes shining with excitement. "Clara," he whispered, his voice trembling with awe, "the great star, it wants to speak to you." Clara's wooden heart skipped a beat. "To me?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Jack nodded vigorously. "Yes, it's choosing you, Clara. You're the one it wants to guide." Clara's painted eyes widened in disbelief. "But why me?" she asked, her voice filled with uncertainty. A deep, resonating voice seemed to fill the shop, emanating from the very heart of the great star. It spoke with a warmth and kindness that calmed Clara's anxieties. "Little one," the voice boomed, "you were chosen because of your pure heart, your unwavering spirit, and your belief in the magic of Christmas." Clara felt a warmth spread through her wooden body, chasing away any lingering doubts. If the great star believed in her, then she could believe in herself. "What do you need me to do?" she asked, her voice now filled with determination. The great star's light pulsed gently as it spoke. "You must guide the Christmas spirit throughout the world, little one. Share the joy, the hope, and the love that you have found within this toy shop." Clara nodded, her wooden hands clanging into fists of resolve. "I will," she promised. "But how?" The great star's voice softened. "I will bestow upon you a gift, a spark of my own magic. With it, you will have the power to spread Christmas cheer wherever you go." As the great star spoke, a beam of pure light descended upon Clara, enveloping her in a warm embrace. She felt a surge of energy coursing through her wooden limbs, filling her with a strength and purpose she had never known before. The light faded, leaving behind a tiny shimmering star that rested upon Clara's chest, pulsing softly in rhythm with her own wooden heart. Clara gazed down at the star, her painted eyes filled with wonder. She could feel its magic within her, a warm, glowing ember of the great star's power. The great star's voice echoed through the shop one last time. "Go now, little one. Spread the magic of Christmas. The world awaits." And with a final burst of shimmering light, the great star vanished, leaving behind a sense of peace and wonder that seemed to permeate every corner of the Enchanted Toyshop. Clara stood tall, her wooden body filled with newfound confidence. She knew that her adventure was just beginning, but she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, armed with the magic of the great star and the unwavering support of her fellow toys. And as the first rays of dawn peeked through the windows of the toy shop, Clara took a deep breath, her wooden heart brimming with the spirit of Christmas. She was ready to share the magic. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of Chapter 4 of the Enchanted Toyshop, A Christmas Eve Adventure. Wow, what a chapter. Thanks for dropping by Kringle's Christmas Stories, and have a very Merry Christmas. Remember to get your Comet's Choice reindeer food at cometschoice.com.